All right, episode 11, the Marc Messier episode. I think I'm going to make this a thing, episode number to athlete. So, episode 11, the Marc Messier episode. Also, part 2, Derek Jeter, of my Why Females Should Strength Train series. Okay, so as a quick recap, what I talked about in the first video, remember, it was kind of the superficial benefits of why women and men, but remember I'm focusing on women here, should strength train regularly and consistently. Obviously, we touched on improving strength, but also remember we addressed, building strength and not, overnight turning into a big bloated supervillain. It's because males and females produce different levels of testosterone, different levels of estrogen. It's, remember, harder for women to get big and bulky. So remember, I don't want that to be a concern of anyone who's considering, trying or starting to strength train. I spoke about aiding long-term fat loss or, weight management. I also talked about the ability to help prevent injury by better adapting and absorbing outside stresses that could be potential causes of stress or injury. Okay? In this video, I want to get a little bit, deeper, all right? Go underneath the skin a little bit, I guess. So something you can't see in the mirror. Talk about more specific health issues as opposed to, maybe just like the cosmetic side of it. So things I want to touch on today are going to be aiding in diabetes prevention or management, preventing cardiovascular disease or osteoporosis, and combating mental health issues like depression. Let's take a look. So I bet when you came to watch a strength training video today, you weren't necessarily thinking that you'd be learning a little bit about diabetes. But the reason why I bring it up is because type 2 diabetes, or the diabetes that you develop as you get older, affects about 30 million Americans. And then another 84 million are pre-diabetic. I would say it's a fairly relevant topic to talk about. If you're a person with diabetes, I'm sure you've heard your doctor talk to you at least on a few occasions about how exercise can help manage, your diabetes. I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about strength training and why that could potentially be your method of exercise to help you, manage this disease. Strength training can help you become more insulin sensitive. Becoming more insulin sensitive is going to allow your body to be more efficient using blood glucose or blood sugar, as I'm sure you've heard it called. But, how does strength training help you manage your blood sugar or blood glucose? When food's broken down, specifically glucose, your body stores it as glycogen for future use, for energy. These glycogen stores can be found in the liver, in fat tissue, and in muscle. When you expend energy during exercise, during strength training, your body calls on these glycogen stores to create energy to use for this exercise. Now, once all these glycogen stores in your muscles are used up, your body needs to replenish them. Now, how does it do this? It does this by drawing the glucose from your blood to replenish those stores that you just used up in your muscles. This will bring your blood sugar or blood glucose down and help you regulate it and keep it at normal, healthy levels. Now, yes, when we think of cardiovascular health, we pretty much automatically jump into aerobic or cardiovascular training. And for good reason. There are plenty of benefits that go along with cardiovascular training, aerobic training, and cardiovascular health. What I'd like to talk to you a little bit is that it's not your only option. So if you're like me and, if you just don't like running or jogging, or maybe you can only, run or jog a mile or two before your head wants to explode. For us non-runners, it turns out we're not all destined to die of heart attacks. A study found in the March 2019 Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise, published by Harvard Health Publishing, found that after examining the exercise habits of 13,000 adults with a mean age or an average age of 47, strength training for 1 hour a week reduces health risk of heart attack or stroke by 40 to 70% when compared with people who do not exercise at all. That's 1 hour a week. I think everyone can be able to fit 1 hour a week into their schedule. Now, I don't want people to use this as kind of an excuse to say, well, I only have to exercise 1 hour a week to reach my health goals. That's far from the truth, especially if you're trying to work on body composition, building strength, building endurance, working on mobility, flexibility, whatever. You obviously need to train more than 1 hour a week if you want to build any sort of significant progress in any of those goals. Now, the reason why I'm giving you this information, though, is because I think it's definitely possible for every human being on Earth to fit at least 1 hour a week of strength training into, their weekly routine. And if that's going to help you reduce your risk of heart attack or stroke by 40 to 70%, I think that's something that, we can all do. If you're unfamiliar with osteoporosis, it's a degenerative disease in which bones become frail and weak due to them becoming more porous. Porous meaning more holes in your bones, or bigger holes in your bones. The word osteoporosis literally means porous bone. So what do we need to understand about osteoporosis, and how can strength training help? For one, it affects 8 million women in the United States and about 2 million men. So tying it into the why females should strength train, it's about a 4-to-1 ratio when it comes to females developing osteoporosis as opposed to males. Now, age is a huge factor when it comes to bone degeneration. It will happen to everyone. However, by incorporating strength training, we can slow down that process a bit. Our bones reach their peak mass somewhere between the ages of 20 and 30, 20 to 35 years old. Now from then, they begin to degenerate on average about 1% every year. So we're losing about 1% of our bone mass every year from the time that we're 30 to 60, 70, 80, 90, 120 if you're lucky. We can combat this degeneration with strength training. The forces of moving heavy weights adds stress to our bones. This tells our body that it needs to fortify this area by building our bones to make them stronger. Over the course of our lifetime, we may not 100% be able to reverse or stop bone degeneration. In fact, you probably won't. But the added stress of strength training on your bones can greatly reduce the rate of degeneration. Remember, I said it degenerates on average about 1% every year from the time we're 30 to the day we die. If we can drop that down, we can have considerable effects over the course of our lives in preventing that bone degeneration or bone loss. Now, when I'm talking about strength training to help, build our bones, I'm definitely not talking about grabbing a pair of 2-pound weights and doing, 100 reps to tone our muscles. In order to cause significant enough stress for our body to start rebuilding bone, we need to use weights somewhere above 50% of our 1 rep max, probably even closer to 60 or 75%, in order for the stress to be significant enough for our body to increase bone mineral density. Exercise in general has been proven to improve mood and overall mental health. It gives you more energy, improves memory, relieves stress, reduces anxiety, reduces the symptoms of ADHD, helps you sleep better, and it can even help people cope with the symptoms of PTSD. A study performed by the Harvard School of Public Health showed that exercising for an hour a day reduces the risk of major depression by about 26%. And with exercise, there are no side effects like if you're taking a pill. So how does exercise and strength training promote all this good for our mental health? First of all, it promotes all sorts of neural growth in the brain. It reduces inflammation, helps create new neural pathways, and it also releases endorphins. If you're unfamiliar with endorphins, these are the feel-good hormones that your body releases. Their purpose is to reduce discomfort or pain and enhance pleasure. With vigorous exercise, our body releases these hormones, giving us the same sense as a high. Now, I realize that I only grazed the surface of all these topics, but my point was to just bring to light that strength training has all these benefits that can help improve your quality of life, whether you're male or female, but again, specifically with things like osteoporosis, and then touching on the other video with the not wanting to get big and bulky. That's kind of why I directed these videos towards females and strength training. At some point, I probably will take each one of these sessions and dive a little bit deeper. But for now, I just wanted to present a little bit of background information, stuff that you guys can, take, listen to, digest, and then, move forward making your own decisions and opinions about. That's all for me, everyone. I hope you were able to learn something that you'll be able to apply in your future training. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more training content in the future. Happy training, everyone, and remember, grab the bull by the tusks.